Alright, here's part 2 of my death metal CD collection. I'm gonna just go through all of them real quick, breeze through them, and then any ones that I want to stop and talk about at the end, I'll do so. But yeah, let's get started here. Christian, Works of Carnage. Vader, Black to the Blind. Bloodthirst, Cannibal Corpse. Pig Destroyer, Terrifier. Divine Empire, Nostradamus, their second release. Ghoul Slayer, Divine Intervention. Our Penance, Cast the First Stone, one of their latest albums. Oops. Slayer, Undisputed Attitude, man. I got a soft spot for this CD. Unmercifully Beaten, Unmerciful's debut album. Their follow-up album, Ravenous Impulse. Origin's second album, Informis Infinitus Inhumanitus. The Vile Conception, Hour of Penance. Decapitated, A Negation. Malevolent Creation, Eternal. Slayer, God Hates Us All. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains. Decapitated, Nihility. Devourment, Molesting the Decapitated. Suffocation, Of the Dark Light. Fuck the Facts. Desire Will Rot. Yeah. Malevolent Creation and Cold Blood. Hate Eternal, King of All Kings. Oppressor, Solstice of Oppression, Elements of Corrosion. Sepultura, Arise. Suffocation, Pierced from Within. Behemoth, Demigod. Malevolent Creation, Doomsday X. Slayer, Repentless. Demolition Hammer's debut album. Aborted, Gormageddon. And then probably the best Malevolent Creation, Retribution. Probably it is. Okay. Luciferion, Demonication. Is that how you say it? Yep, Demonication, The Manifest. Ageless Venomous, Christian. Can't talk today, can't spell. Gateways to Annihilation, Morbid Angel. Very, very good. Handwritten logo, Vile Stench of the Deceased. Another handwritten logo, Suffocation, Pinnacle of Bedlam. Decapitated, Organic Hallucinosis. Dying Fetus, War of Attrition. Chaosphere, Meshuggah. Pig Destroyer, Bookburner. Slayer, Christ Illusion. Band from Brazil that's not playing anymore. The Order, Weaponize is the album. Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated. Cannibal Corpse, Kill. Gorgasm, Masticate to Dominate. Aborted, Global Flatline. Origin, Entity. Suffocation, Despise the Sun. Dying Fetus, Stop at Nothing, another hand-drawn logo. Origin, Antithesis. Sinister, Hate, Bastard Saints on the same CD. Deeds of Flesh of What's to Come. Not death metal. Fear Factory, Obsolete. I got into a lot of Fear Factory when I was younger. Torture, Cannibal Corpse. Hate Eternal, I Monarch. Another Fear Factory, Demanufacturer. God, that CD's old. Flesh God Apocalypse, Oracles, Hour of Penance, Sedition, Unsane Crisis, which is the guitar player from Wormed. That's his grindcore project. I don't know if they still make music. I hope they do, because they're fucking awesome. They did a split with Assassin. Morbid Angel, Kingdoms Disdained. A band from Italy called Hiss from the Moat. They got James Payne, the previous Hour of Penance drummer. That's his band, and it's really, really good stuff. Check them out. And then a band which I will come back to and talk about from Russia. I can't pronounce the name. I'm not going to try because I'm going to fuck it up really bad. But it starts with a B, so it's spelled out B-U-F-I-H-I-M-A-T. The album's called I. Formula's Fatal to the Flesh, Morbid Angel. Classic, Cannibal Corpse, The Bleeding. Unfortunately, that's the censored version. Morbid Angel Covenant, another classic. Dying Fetus, Descend into Depravity. And then the band I talked about in part 1 of my CD collection was Prejudice, Dominion of Chaos is the album. If you can find it, it's fucking awesome. It's very, very heavy. Very progressive, very technical. Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss. Defeated Sanity, Passages into Deformity. Hideous Divinity's debut album. Obedience Rising was the name of that album, I believe. Deeds of Flesh, Portals to Canaan. Cryptopsy, self-titled. Here's another handwritten logo. Let me know what you guys think of my handwritten logos. Deeds of Flesh, Crown of Souls. I used to be really good at making logos as a kid. Alright, Wormed, their latest album. It starts with a K. Again, I won't be able to pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. Aeon's Black. Eternal Suffering, who I talked about, Drowning in Tragedy. So good. Annihilation of the Wicked, Nile. Fear Factory, Soul of a New Machine. Origin, Echoes of Decimation. Divine Empire, Redemption. I showed the jewel case already on this one. Get back in there. Flesh God Apocalypse, Mafia EP. Yeah, Moral Decay, Forensic. Good album right here. Unfortunately, I think their drummer passed away, so rest in peace. It's a bummer, man. Inveracity. Their first album was Circles of Perversion. I got that in here somewhere, but it's on a fucking blank CD. I don't know which one it's on. Maybe the red one. This album was another follow-up to Circles of Perversion. Fucking killer band from Greece. A lot of Suffocation influence. Check them out. Misery Index, Discordia. And then on the same CD, Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life and Butchered at Birth. Saprogenic. Ichneumon, I think. Ichneumanoid. Oh, just butchering names. Ichthyphallic, Nile. Hopefully I said that right. Orgasm, Stab Wound, Intercourse. Origin, Omnipresent. Our Penance Paradogma. Dying Fetus Reigns Supreme. The Will to Kill, Malevolent Creation. Another hand logo. Monstrosity, Imperial Doom. Got George Corpse Grinder Fisher in there. Revocation, Great is Our Sin. Flesh Grind, Murder Without End. Hate Eternal, Conquering the Throne. The latest Hideous Divinity album. Band from Germany, I don't think they're making music anymore. A band called Violence Unleashed. Nile, Those Whom the Gods Detest. Kennedy Vale, the debut album. Band called Scapus, really fucking fast and heavy shit. Malevolent Creation, The Ten Commandments, their debut. Another split CD with Unsane Crisis. I don't remember the name of the other band. Okay, that's that. And then these, which I don't think they make these anymore. These are a couple goodies I figure I'd save at the end of this. So this is Slayer Seasons in the Abyss Tablature book. I got this when I was like 10 years old. And this one, Divine Intervention. Cherry Lane music. Yeah, I don't know if they make these anymore. And then this, I'll never forget how this happened, because these usually I take care of. They're in pretty good shape for as old as they are, but I was trying to play one of the riffs on this album. And I ended up getting frustrated and took the book and threw it at the wall. Fuck! Anyway, so I'll go back to some of these bands that I want to talk about. Oppressor. I don't know if anybody remembers Oppressor. They maybe I think they went from like 1994 to about 99 or 2000, and then they ended up doing some kind of like rock / metal kind of band called Soil. But at the time when they came out with, they had Solstice of Oppression, and then they followed up with an album called Agony, and then they finished with Elements of Corrosion. They actually did a live album too, which I used to have. It was called European Oppression. That band, I think they were, at the time, they were ahead of a lot of these other bands. They were doing stuff that really you didn't hear in death metal yet. Just like their passages with their melodic riffing and just a lot of different kinds of stuff that you just didn't hear yet. The technicality of it too was just way up there. They didn't get the credit that they deserved. And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this right here, I got a huge amount of love for Divine Interventions. This was the first CD that I ever got. My mom bought this for me when I was 10 years old. And I just love it to pieces. That's like one of my favorite Slayer albums. So obviously, since it was like my first CD, and it was pretty much my first Slayer album that I ever owned, so it's kind of up there with my all-time favorite Slayer records. And I love the soloing on that album. I think they put a lot more thought into the soloing than they did previous efforts. A lot of those old Slayer solos, I would say if you went like before South of Heaven or Seasons in the Abyss even, a lot of those albums sounded like they just hit record one take. They just pulled a solo out of their ass and they're like, all right, that's good. That's, to me, those were a lot of those Slayer solos. So this album, I think with the soloing, it got a lot better. And then, yeah, definitely got to talk about the CDs. A little over 10 years old. This is Our Penance, The Vile Conception. I cannot stop listening to this. This never leaves my CD player. The only time it left my CD player was to do this video, because this is the heaviest shit I've ever heard in my life. It's fucking awesome. And another one that's right up there with it. Actually, I think this one just kind of knocks it down a little bit, just because it's got about 6 years on it. Origin's second album. It just doesn't get any more fucking brutal than this CD right here. I mean, you got John Longstreth on the drums. You got 4 people doing vocals at like all different times or even at the same time. The chunky triplets, the just absolute insanity of this record, man. I can't say enough about how fucking awesome it is. I think I've told Paul before, hopefully if Paul watches this, Paul, if you're watching this, you got to make an Informus too, buddy. I want to hear it. You got it in you. This would be like my third favorite Hour of Penance right here, Cast the First Stone. That's a very good record. Give me 1 second, because I want to talk about... Yeah, that's another band from Brazil, The Order. I think they released 2 albums. It was Weaponized and then it was Kill the Betrayers. Definitely check that stuff out. Alright, here it is. Alright, so Hiss from the Moat, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned earlier, the previous drummer from Hour of Penance, that's his band. Definitely worth listening to for sure. And then the band from Russia, spelled B-U-F I-H-I-M-A-T, and the album was called I discovered them on watching Banger TV. Actually, I was sleeping. I was watching it and I fell asleep, but it was one of the it was at the end of the year. It was best albums of 2017 by all the people that run on the channel or hosts on there. And one of the guys, that was one of his favorites of the year. And I woke up to it. I heard this just awesome band, and didn't know who they were. And I had to rewind it and see what I missed. And as soon as I heard this, I went on Amazon and downloaded the digital. It's fucking amazing stuff. You guys gotta check it out. It's like if you took like Hate Eternal and got like Dillinger Escape Plan involved, and then there's some elements of slam and shit in there too. The vocals are really, really pissed off and in your face too, so please give them a listen. What else we got here? I mean, all this is really, really good stuff, but yeah, Eternal Suffering I told you guys about. Some of the best slam. I wish that band was still around, I really do. I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, Hideous Divinity, love that. Yeah, I think that'll wrap it up though.